Okay, folks, we're going to learn about gain structure on an analog mixing board. I'm going to show you what the gain knob is for, and when we start twiddling knobs, adding our bass, our mid-range, our treble, and so forth, what happens to everything, and why you have to change the gain knob after you twiddle all the knobs and get your bass set and your blah 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 all set. You have to redo your gain knob one more time, and then you never touch it again for the rest of the show. That's very important. You never, ever, ever touch it again. Okay, reason? I'm getting ready to tell you and show you why. Okay, I personally am a very loud singer. I put the microphone right here, and I flippin' am probably one of the loudest singers there is. If you have your microphone and you are singing this far away, fine and dandy. If you're singing this far away, shame on you. Okay, so your mics are meant to be up here. If you've ever seen Celine Dion and you're like, she sings 40 feet away from her mic. Yeah, chicks suck when it comes to singing. They like to do that crap. So, it blows to have a chick to be a singer because they like to think they're using mic techniques. Mic technique is sitting there going like this. Go watch Ann Wilson of Heart live. She knows how to sing. That mic is right here 100% of the time. That's how you get her done, kids. Okay, reason I'm mentioning how close I sing to the mic is so you'll do the same and that you'll understand what the gain is getting ready to do. Okay, I'll get out of the picture here. I'm not turning any speakers or power amps on. You're simply going to be focusing on the LED ladder meter right here. Okay, I've got the gain completely shut off. I'll turn it off on this channel too. So I'll be right here where the level control is at 0 or 7 out of 10. Same with your mains, 7 out of 10. That's what's called unity gain. That's where all faders should basically start and basically stay if you get your gain structure set correctly. Okay, you have a person like me who sings loud. What we're going to do, first of all, to check any channel, if you are talking in a mic like I am and you see some green, blah, 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 and you have other microphones on, everything's on, you want to go to the board, and there's a button down here by the fader that says PFL. That stands for pre-fade listen. Okay, so you could actually have your headphones on, and it actually listens to only that channel. So you can hear how bad the guy sings that's over here. Okay, so but the PFL also singles out just that channel, just like when we're listening to it in the headphone jack. But it makes it so that it's the only one showing up on this ladder. This is very important. So hit the PFL button. Okay, that's on. And that keeps all the other microphones from bleeding through and somebody hitting a kick drum while you're trying to do this. So if you have that on, even if somebody's hitting the kick drum, it is not going to show up on this ladder. Okay, so what we're going to do is set a basic gain. Okay, the gain is simply what is coming into the mixing board, the signal. Okay, so we want the loudest, this is a vocal mic, and I'm doing vocals. If you're doing drums and stuff, you'll do it the same way as this. If you're doing keyboards, you adjust everything the same way. So we have the PFL on this channel only. I'm going to start turning the gain knob up. Okay. I'm going to go here, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, turning it up. I want to get it maybe hitting the yellow, never the red, the yellow here and there. Okay, so I'm still turning the gain knob up, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, there it is, 2, 2, hitting yellow. And that is assuming that that is the loudest I could ever possibly sing ever in the night. If I'm wired on crack, cocaine, and whatever, that is the loudest I would ever sing. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And you want to make sure of that. Okay, if you know the people in your band and you know that they're holding back, or if they're taking that mic and they're holding it way back here so they can get louder later, bust them right now. Because you know how loud they sing. Okay, so we have that up to where it needs to be. Even though I'm talking now and it's not going up there, that's because I'm not singing. Okay, a person like me would actually sing and 2, 2, 1, 2. Yes, that's how loud I do it. 2, 2, way up in the yellow, and I will continue to do that. So if it's me, I have to turn that gain down. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so that's good for when I'm actually singing. And you notice it's way down here? Fine. We just want the loudest possible point that will be hit to be the one that is measured. Okay, what happens now is we start doing our gain structure, which means when we're adding or subtracting frequencies via the lows, the mids, the highs, and so forth. Me, I have a lot of bottom end in my voice, and I like it to be accented. When I get really close to a mic like this that has a nice proximity effect built in, which means it has a deal that adds a lot of low end when you get really close to the mic. But I like to even accentuate that more, so I'm going to turn up the bass. Let's say I have my speakers on and I'm listening. La-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And okay, that sounds good. I'm going to go to my low mids, and I know it sounds good at 80 hertz, so I'm going to set it at 80 hertz with a sweepable mid. Then, hey, start turning the volume up on that mid that I selected. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so far, I'm barely even into the gain thing. And 2, 1, 2. I'm 3 yellows up into this thing. I'm 1 away from being in the red. 2, 2, 2. Okay, and this is going to keep on happening. Okay, now I'm going to go up to my next mid-range, which I like at 2K. Okay, so it's set there. That's the one that really gives it that presence right about there. So the actual talking and singing part, that's where it gives you that real vocal mid-range, upper mid-range clarity. So I need some of that. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now I'm going to add, I need some sizzle on here. So I'm adding frequencies to everything instead of subtracting. A lot of times you need to subtract frequencies. You set your notch filter or your sweepable mid on a frequency that you find and dial it back a little bit if it's a treble frequency. But for the basic lesson on EQing and getting your gain structure there, I'm going to turn up the highs now for me. Really crispy. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Okay, right there, it just went in the red. That can't happen. Okay, not allowed. 2, 2, but I'm there. I'm going to shut the gain down till it quits going into the yellow hardly at all. 2, 2, 2. The gain is off. And this is what I want you to see. 2. Okay, it's going all the way up and 1 away from the red. 2, 2, 2. Okay, that is not good. So if you have somebody, all of a sudden that sounds great, but your gain is off, that's fine that your gain is off. It doesn't matter. But it does matter that I'm up so high and almost peaking on the ladder here. 2, 2. So I'm going to hit the what's called a pad. There's a pad button right up here next to my phantom power button. There's also a high pass filter button. But where it says pad, that will actually turn down the gain even lower than 0. Okay? So if I hit that, okay, look what's going on right now on the meter. 2. I'm going to do that now and then push the button. 2. Okay, so now it's down lower than it was. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so that gives me a chance to actually start taking the gain up. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Now that's fine. I've got the gain up halfway now. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And everything's groovy. So That's what the pad does. It actually cuts the gain down below 0. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so that is fine in Groovy. Okay, 2, 2, 2. I'm going to bring that gain, let's say, 2, 2, 2, 2. I'm going to show you the peak. There's peak. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. That's as hard as I'll sing. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, see, it's halfway, almost halfway up now, where before it was on 0. Okay, so we're looking good now. Now, what you want to remember is, like I said before, you will never touch this now that it sounds great. You'll never touch it again. What if you do? Well, the mains out front will turn up on your channel. You do not want that. You will turn that up on the fader down here. And you won't need much if your stuff is set correctly and everything's at unity gain up here at 0, which again, out of a scale from 1 to 10, it'd be about 7. It's marked there for you. Okay, and plus if you turn that knob up or down, it affects all the monitors at the same time too. So you spent time trying to get your monitors correct, which you do after this point. You get all of the mains done first, then you do your monitors. Why? Because if you did your monitors first, and then you go to change your gains afterwards, you just screwed up your entire monitor mix. Okay? So that's why I was talking about monitors at the beginning, that we leave them alone till we get our gain structure set. So that gain is set for its optimal usage. You get it sounding great through the mains, and you leave that sumbitch alone. Okay? So if you've ever twiddled it and tried to get more volume or less volume or what have you, quit doing that. Okay? That's why you're here, to learn to do that and not to do that. So you have your gain structure set. 2, 2, 2. Okay, everything's fine. And you actually set, just for a note, your monitors to what's called a pre. It'll have a switch on there whether you want to go pre or post. And you want to set it for pre, because that means before all of the EQ, before the fader down here. Because if you turn the fader up and down and it's set in post, the whatever you do to the fader is going to happen to your monitors. You're going to be pissed if somebody turns your guitar down and all of a sudden out in the mains, and then all of a sudden you have nothing in your monitor because they just turned it down. Or if they turn your vocal down and you have nothing in your monitors, that's what happens. So you set it on pre, not post. Post is for your effects only. Okay? So I have 4 monitor sends and 2 effect sends. The effect sends are automatically set to pre, and then, post. So they actually affect, as far as your EQ goes, actually affects the built-in or your outboard effects unit. Okay? And so on. But you don't want changes that happen all over the mixing board affecting your monitors. And believe it or not, you do not want whatever you do to the mains with EQ to happen in your monitors. Okay? You're like, well, man, give me some more highs in my EQ in my monitor. That's when you actually go to the graphic equalizer and change it there. You don't change it here. That's for the mains, period. Nothing else. Okay? So all of this is for the mains. Your monitors, whole different situation. You have a volume and you have a graphic equalizer. And that is it. Nothing else should change anything about your monitor. Volume and a graphic EQ. Okay, so that is your gain structure. Again, leave it alone. Okay? Can't stress that enough. If you change it from here, you are doing a huge disservice to yourself and everybody else. Never change it throughout the night. No matter what you've heard or think you've learned. Once it is set and sounds amazing, leave it alone, because that will destroy and change everything in your mains and your monitors at the same time. Okay? And then we click off our PFL. Everything's coming through the PA now. And you go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Once you get them all done, then yeah, it's sound check time after you do the monitors, which are a whole different thing. I'll do a video on that later. So there you go. You do the exact same thing to everything, and if you're in the same band doing this setup, you'll basically only do it, for the most part, once, because your sound system will sound great. Everybody's amps and vocals and everything else and keyboards and so forth will be set the same for every gig. And again, amplifiers are personal monitors. They're not meant for the audience to hear. So yes, you put your entire band through the PA system. That includes drums. If you're like, oh, drums are too loud or whatever, it's like, the drums need to go into the PA system as loud, at least, as what they're coming off the stage. That way you can make them sound good without being any louder than they are coming off the stage. If he's going to play as loud as he is, and it's fine out front, but this is going to make it sound a million times better, even if the volume isn't any louder. So don't say, well, the drums sound okay volume-wise, because the tone will be shit. Because that's just the way it is. It's like he's beating on oatmeal boxes. So anyway, what does that have to do with anything? It just means that everything, once you get it all done, show goes great, sounds good, then you're going to the next gig. You don't have to do this anymore. Probably not, ever. Unless you've dicked with it. So don't dick with it. If you think somebody has changed their crap, simply come over to the PFL button, hit it, and you can tell, because it's going in the red now, that he dicked with something. So you confront them, or you just go up there and change, and he won't have any monitors, and he'll bitch and say, well, that's what you get for fucking with it. It's one way to tame people from that. Okay, so I hope that helps you out. And is that all that I can tell you about that? No, but that's the main deal. And that is gain structure. Whatever you add as far as EQ will bring it up bigger and heavier here on the ladder. Whatever you take away on your EQ will actually make that gain softer. Okay, and then you will always, whether it goes less or more on the ladder, you will adjust the gain to compensate and get it to hit about that first yellow on the hardest possible signal that will ever go in there at any gig. Okay, so you guys be groovy. I'm already groovy, and I'll catch you on the next audio lesson. Take care. Bye-bye.